Pakistan has sadly once again rejected India's friendly gesture. The border security force offered sweets on the occasion of Eid along the international border. Not at one place, but at several places from Chakandabag in Punch to Wagah in Punjab. Pakistan rejected this. Pakistan returned the sweets. Not just that. Islamabad has resorted to heavy firing along the international border and the line of control. As bullets and mortars were fired across the line of control, this ice-breaking pact at Ufa appears to have been forgotten even before the ink dried on that agreement.
As celebrations of Eid began in India's largest mosque, Pakistan launched unprovoked firing at Indian posts along the line of control. Amid escalating hostilities on Eid, Pakistani soldiers even refused to accept sweets traditionally from their Indian counterparts, departing from an established convention. The betrayal at the border, accompanied by another U-turn on the 26/11 trial. A top Pakistani federal prosecutor reiterating that voice samples of Mumbai attack mastermind Zakir Rahman Lakhvi cannot be used as evidence. The deceit coming just a day after the United States' stern message to Pakistan and promises made in Russia that have been cast aside for repeated provocations.
I think we continue to work very aggressively in those efforts to work with our Indian colleagues as well as work in our relationship with Pakistan to address those very concerns.
With the tension on Eid lighting up the hostile border, 8 days after Indo-Pak bonhomie in Russia, bilateral relations appear to be back to square one. Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to bring in Colonel Shafqat Saeed, a student of peace, a former mechanized infantry officer in Pakistan. I also want to bring in Major General G.D. Bakshi. He commanded the Romeo Force in Jammu and Kashmir. Shafqat Saeed Saab, Eid Mubarak. I'll try and reestablish that line with General Shafqat Saeed in just a moment. But General G.D. Bakshi, is there a pattern to what is happening? Even before the ink dried on the UFA agreement, we had firing and shelling along the LC. They killed a BSF Jawan a day before the meeting. They killed an army soldier a day after the meeting. What is Pakistan's grand plan here, sir?
You know, Gaurav, I'd like to point out that what we are seeing is a very familiar and well-entrenched pattern in India-Pakistan relations. You know, every time India has tried to make an outreach to the civilian establishment in Pakistan, and the intention has been to somehow marginalize the military, reduce its centrality in the polity in Pakistan so that Pakistan becomes a normal nation state. We have made the outreach 3 times since, Prime Minister Modi took charge. And each time the response has been absolutely the same. The Pakistani military ISI complex has kicked in. It has raised the temperature, escalated on the line of control.
General, is your opinion?
Civilian population.
Okay, General, is your opinion that we should now start interacting with Pakistani army directly, the civilian leadership, pointless interacting with them? We've seen this since 1947 till date.
The point at issue is that the Pakistan army understands only one language, I'm very sorry to state, and that is the language of force. So if you want to speak to the Pakistan army, you must address them in a language that they understand. The very fact that if you redress the military balance in your favor, you speed up the long delayed arms acquisitions, let me tell you, Gaurav, you would be sending a very, very pertinent message to the Pakistani military establishment.
Okay, I think I have General Shafqat Saeed.
Adventurism.
I have General Shafqat Saeed with me. Colonel Saeed, Eid Mubarak. You've had a happy Eid. Sadly, on the Indian side, whether it's the LC or the IB, the Eid hasn't been very happy given the mortar firing and shelling from the Pakistani side, Colonel Saeed.
These ceasefire violations are very unfortunate, and I as a Pakistani feel that there should be peace on the line of control and international border. But please remember that this violation is not one-sided, and this firing on international this line of control and working boundary is a routine activity in Kashmir.
Is this a routine activity, General Bakshi? Is this a routine activity, as Colonel Shafqat Saeed says, or is there a sinister game plan? And this is no longer routine. Since till 2003, it might have been routine. 2003 onwards, ever since Pakistan asked for Ramzan ceasefire, it has not been routine. So when Pakistan wants peace, there is peace. When Pakistan wants conflict, we only react. Why is our policy so reactive, General Bakshi?
You know, the point at issue is that this is not routine firing, because the escalation has occurred absolutely in the wake of the UFA joint declaration. Like you mentioned, the ink had hardly dried before this, escalation took place. It was fairly peaceful before that. And you see the coincidences on the previous occasions. These are not accidental. These are not coincidental. We invite, our Prime Minister invites Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif for his swearing-in ceremony. The Pakistani ISI attacks our consulate in Afghanistan. It is just fortunate that our guards were
How should we punish Pakistan? General Bakshi, I don't want a lesson in history. What should the road ahead be? What should we do to Pakistan if they violate ceasefire?
I'm afraid if they violate the ceasefire, then I think the military commanders should, escalate to the level required to tell them that there are costs. That, if you go beyond certain levels, threshold levels of tolerance, there will be costs to pay. I'm afraid that message doesn't seem to have gone through. Okay. Whatever we did in Arnia last time does not seem to have been adequate. So I think we will have to raise the decibels till our voice is clearly understood and our message is unambiguous and clear. And as you put it, the lessons of history are accentuated across the line of control.
Okay, and let me get Colonel Shafqat to respond to that. Colonel Shafqat, Pakistan does not understand the language of peace. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has repeatedly reached out to Pakistan, whether it was during his swearing-in, whether it was at Kathmandu or at UFA. Pakistan still violates ceasefire. Is punishing Pakistan at the LC the only road ahead, sir?
I would say that Pakistan does not understand, or Pakistan should be taught a lesson, and doing a media trial is not a correct thing to do. And the solution of this ceasefire violation on line of control and working boundary does not lie with General Bakshi, me, or your program discussion. It is supposed to be solved by the DGs of BSF and Ranger.
When you don't even accept, Colonel Saab, when you don't even accept Eid ki mithai, what can be more petty than that? That Pakistan Border Security Force, Pak Rangers or Pakistan Army does not even accept Eid sweets.
Look here, the thing is that Pakistan, the point of view Pakistanis have is that India is resorting to indiscriminate firing across the working boundary and line of control. And as a protest to that, Pakistan has not accepted the sweets. And I personally feel, this is my personal opinion, that the sweets should have been accepted. Well, if it has not been accepted with this pretext that you can't extend muh mein ram ram aur bagal mein churi muh mein ram ram, ye nahi ho sakta.
लेकिन ये मुंह में राम बगल में छुरी हम करते हैं कि आप करते हैं? जनरल बख्शी, दिस इज स्ट्रेंज. Pakistan says India is doing muh mein ram bagal mein churi, we give them sweets and then we shell them. What is the truth? They take no action against Hafiz Mohammad Saeed. They take no action against Zakir Rahman Lakwi. They hide Dawood Ibrahim. They hid all the perpetrators of IC 814 and they accuse us of muh mein ram bagal mein churi, General Saab.
I would like to remind Colonel Shafqat Saeed that even in World War I, you know, troops, when there was a murderous war on, at the time of Christmas, troops used to crawl forward to one another and exchange Christmas greetings. For God's sake, that was a world war. You know, Colonel Shafqat Saeed, सबसे पहले आपको ईद मुबारक. लेकिन I'd like to tell you, it is a very churlish gesture. It is an extremely boorish gesture. Somebody comes to you on the occasion, on the joyous occasion of Eid, he offers you sweet and you refuse them. You know, Colonel Shafqat Saeed, you will agree with me that this is uncalled for. This needlessly vitiates the atmosphere, and you know, it sort of spreads. Look at, you know, we went to these guys with sweets, and what we've gotten in return are bullets.
And
so
Colonel
I
Saeed,
think somewhere this has got to stop.
Seriously, and you know, you talk about muh mein ram bagal mein chhuri. If two brothers are fighting, India and Pakistan, you go and get unmoge. Pakistan is getting United Nations mission in India and Pakistan to be the honest broker. When has the West ever been an honest broker between India and Pakistan, Colonel Saab?
Okay, I think General Saab would agree with me. General Saab, thank you very much. And I reciprocate your Eid wishes with the same warmth and feeling. And I pray that we can host each other as guests, and the situation is very good. This is my feeling. But as luck would have it, and as the politician would lead us, I think this is the mistrust between India and Pakistan, which is resulting in this ceasefire violation. And whatever this problem that we are in is because of mistrust that exists between India and Pakistan. The people of subcontinent, that is people of India and Pakistan, deserve better than this what they are.
So Colonel Shafqat, are you of the opinion then we should eliminate talking through politicians? The conversation between India and Pakistan should be with General Raheel Sharif directly. Should India be interacting with General Raheel Sharif, with the Pakistan army, for an honorable discussion that could have any positive results? Is that the only way?
Look, General Raheel Sharif is my instructor. He was my instructor in the military academy, and then at two other occasions he had been my instructor. I have served under his command. I know this man very well, and I tell you, he is not what you think. Though he is a very professional soldier, but he has nothing to do with politics. He takes orders. He is a man who carries out instructions, and he knows how to implement the orders taken. And he is not like what you think. He is an organ of the state. He has made army an organ of the state, and the political government stays in control. And I feel that Mr. Nawaz Sharif has gone way out. He has been jumping across the gun when it comes to making peace with India. And I pray that the hype, that hysteric hype that is being done in Indian media is stopped.
No. Don't shoot the messenger, sir. Don't shoot the messenger. The media is not killing people at the line of control. The media does not have 81mm mortars. The media is not resorting to small arm fires and sniper fires, killing BSF personnel, army personnel and civilians on the Indian side. General Bakshi, should India be interacting directly with General Raheel Sharif? Is that the only way? Then we'll know the person who wields power in Pakistan, whether he's honest about peace with India or not.
You know, when the American delegations come, they definitely call on the Pakistan Army Chief. When the Afghan delegation comes, it calls on the Pakistan Army Chief. We could have done that long back. Our intent, I would like to tell Colonel Shafqat Saeed, has been to help the long-suffering people of Pakistan come out from the shadow of their army. All other countries own an army. In Pakistan, the army owns the state. And the entire problem, Shafqat, is systemic. It's not personality A or B. Raheel Sharif, as you put it, may be an honorable man, a good man. But systemically, he is the chief of the army staff, and the Pakistan army has not been habituated to taking orders from the civilian establishment. For 30 years they have ruled directly, and when they have not been in direct control of the Pakistani polity, Colonel Shafqat, you will agree with the reality
And Colonel Shafkat, is it time for Pakistan to wake up to ground reality? You can call the Unprovoked, you can call the United Nations, but United Nations has absolutely no role between India and Pakistan, and that has been decided after the 1971 war and the Simla Agreement. So you're only going to a third party who has absolutely no role to play. Colonel Shafkat, if you want genuine peace, stop shelling and let's start talking. That should be the message that should come from the Pakistani state.
Right, I said in the start of this program that the reason for all this problem is the irritant-based, mistrust-based relationship between India and Pakistan. And I said that it is not the way you think of Pakistan, and the biggest irritant is your perception of Pakistan. You have not accepted Pakistan as a state. Whenever you address Pakistan, you address Pakistan as a failed state. You address Pakistan as a state where the government does not have authority. You always address Pakistan as a state where army is rogue and it is controlling everything.
But isn't that the truth, General Bakshi?
And with this perception, I don't think that India would see any peace, or India would make
Colonel
any...
Shafkat Saeed. No, Colonel Shafkat Saeed, can I? Colonel Shafkat Saeed, you will agree that the trail of India-Pakistan relations is broken with littered promise. I mean, why go very far? Because otherwise I will be accused of giving a history lesson. Ufa, the ink had hardly dried.
Yes.
Your Prime Minister had agreed to hand over the voice samples. The very next day, you know,
yes,
apart from Zakirul Rahman Lakhvi's lawyer, it is the Pakistani prosecutor-in-chief who declined that he will ask for the voice samples. You had the Pakistani information minister contradicting what his Prime Minister had said.
Yes.
Then you had the national security advisor tell us that all that we'd gotten it all wrong. And then we have your Pakistani ambassador here. I don't know, his brief seems to be to try as much as he can to spoil relations.
And that is exactly what unfortunately seems to be happening. I have run out of time on the broadcast, Colonel Shafkat and General Bakshi. For the moment, many thanks for joining me. But as both our guests said, it's extremely churlish on the part of Pakistan to not even accept Eid sweets and retaliate to India's gesture by resorting to heavy firing and shelling along the LC and the IB. We, of course, will continue to track developments on that story very closely.